Yo, what is up guys, Chillfeed here, back bringing you another Borderlands 3 video. Now, as some of you already know, I came back yesterday from a weekend trip for my birthday and kept thinking about what would be a good idea for my next video the whole time. And since my AMARA build video is by far my most popular video and I will be streaming a one life only AMARA playthrough soon, I wanted to make an update version of that. Also, the Mali 1 takedown event is basically around the corner and I wanted to get you prepared for the challenge. So I was testing out so many builds that I haven't seen yet on YouTube, but really I didn't like even one of them better than the one I was uploading before. So I started watching more videos of other YouTubers and I saw so many best builds and max DPS builds that I wanted to try them all out and see if they are as good as the YouTubers claim they are. And since the Mali 1 takedown is apparently going to be the hardest challenge we can get in Borderlands 3, I figured the best way to test out the builds would obviously be in the Slaughter Shaft on TVHM, Mayhem Mode 3 and neutral modifiers. To be clear, most of these YouTubers were using weapons with the Anointed where you can get plus 250% or even plus 300% increased weapon damage after using a face cast or face slam, on top of the 180% damage boost from an elemental projector after it's shooting yourself with a sellout. And the reason why I won't be using any of those two things are that in my opinion any weapon becomes great regardless of the build with any of these anointments and the elemental projector boost, and also not many people have the time to farm for all the weapons to get that exact anointment perk. I really want to show how those builds perform without these in my opinion overpowered boosts. If you think that is wrong, just add 480% weapon damage in your mind while watching this video and you're good. I will also link every build video I'm showcasing in the description of the video, so you can check them out if you like any of them and haven't already checked them out. One more thing, I didn't want to include build videos that have been released just a few days after release, since Gearbox has released many hotfixes and patches already that affected these builds, and I think that the knowledge of the game is much better after at least a few weeks for better builds in general. And of course, as always, the annoying part, please leave a like if you enjoyed this video or found it informative. It will help me out a ton. And now without further ado, let's finally jump into the video. Starting off with one of my favorite AMARA YouTubers when it comes to build knowledge, which is Moxsy's shock and awe best speed farming build update with 37k views, and the original video had 42k views already. For the build he was using a brainstormer, which is obviously shock damage, but he also had an anointed perk that gave him plus 50% additional corrosive damage on action skill end that unfortunately I don't have, but therefore I have one with additional 50% shock damage instead. Combined with the skill infusion and your action skill damage set to incendiary, you can deal damage with up to 3 elements at once with just one weapon if you are lucky enough to get a brainstormer with the same anointment, which is great in my opinion. He was also using an elemental projector with the sellout, but he did mention it was not required and you could easily switch to something else and do well, which was exactly what I did with the auto idol that gave me plus 40% magazine size, a recharger shield and a facehugger CLASSMOD with increased critical hit damage with Hyperion weapons. The build was a lot of fun when using the brainstormer in crowded areas where the chain lightning effect would proc, but for single target damage, I don't know, I just don't really like the brainstormer that much. Moxsy did mention though that for single target damage to use a Linoge or Linogue or whatever it is called, and I think that is a great choice if you can't get a brainstormer with bonus corrosive damage. As an alternative, try to get a corrosive Linogue as I said, or even a Skexel or still the Cutsman for some of the armored enemies. Otherwise, a fun brainstormer build to use, just in my opinion not the best or fastest mobbing build out there, unless I'm missing something or something went wrong when playing it. Another great Moxsy build is coming up next with almost 60,000 views, and really one of the builds that surprised me the most because I didn't think I would have so much fun with it. This build is focused on the Nimbus class mod for AMARA that deals cloud damage of her action skill element whenever AMARA first damages an enemy with her action skill. Now all you need in addition to this build is an electric banjo artifact, or of course an elemental projector, but that applies to any elemental weapon really, if you don't have a problem with shooting at your feet over and over again, and a Mali 1 Killer the Wisp shotgun, and you will have a lot of fun guaranteed. The lightning effect from your Killer the Wisp combined with the electric banjo is so much fun to look at. You don't even really need to get close to your enemies and just stay safe from far away while shooting this weapon. When you have the transformer shield, you can even shoot at your feet and heal your shields, and the elemental single target damage is amazing even against some bosses. I wouldn't say that it is AMARA'S best class mod because there's still the face circle that I like better, but that could also just be me and my playstyle that I like to play. It's a fun build and a great way to make the Killer the Wisp really useful. Just make sure to have an alternative for when you go down, because the Kill of the Wisp doesn't do a lot of damage, so you're better off using something else when trying to get a second wind. The next build that I was testing is from everyone's favorite low functioning YouTuber, Tickle Me Pink, and the build that he was showcasing was the highest damage and best AMARA build with the face cast action skill, and to be honest with you, I'm not so sure about that one, man. In his video he was using the build, which is a good build overall, don't get me wrong, but I think when comparing his video with the gameplay from me, where I have neutral Mayhem mods and no 250% damage boost after using an action skill instead of 50% additional SMG damage and 25% increased gun damage on top, it becomes quite apparent how much of a difference this can make. I would argue that you could play through the entire game on Mayhem mode 3 with these Mayhem modifiers and anointed buffs without any build at all. Just look at the footage of me destroying the Grave Fort after the Layuda nerf without any skills but good mods and 300% weapon damage after using Face Slam. He was even using an elemental projector Victory Rush, which is just overkill at this point, and yeah, please don't get mad at me for pointing that out if you like Tickle Me Pink, but I don't think you can really take the footage of his video too serious. The build itself is, like I said, not bad, but if you aren't lucky enough to own some of the items he's mentioning, I think it is far from being the highest damage build in the game. Coming up next is probably the best build ever created for any Borderlands game by the most honest, wise and good looking YouTuber to ever exist, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Chillfeed Gaming. Okay, obviously I'm joking, and obviously I don't think that this is the best build ever created. I still really enjoy this build though, probably more than any other build that I have used for damage, but it has some obvious flaws when it comes to health regen and survivability, because it almost has none. The reason why I went that route was because with the Guardian rank perks, you can get full health and shield back after a second wind, and when going for pretty much damage only, it's quite easy to get a second wind, so my offense was my best defense, if that makes sense. I know, not the best plan, but it worked out fine and it still works in my opinion. The reason why I love this build still is because of the combination of stillness of mind and ties that bind, where you can basically delete up to 7 or 8 enemies at once with just one face grasp alone, which is the best combination of an action skill you can use in the entire game in my opinion. I'd still recommend the stopgap shield or the recharger shield, a face circle class mod, a Quasar or hex shock grenade, and either an auto idle artifact to get 18% of your max health back after a kill, or a victory rush for even more damage and enjoy constant face grasping. I also would go with the crossroad and Cutsman SMGs even after the nerf, or even a Skexel or Linoke pistol for crazy damage. By the way, thank you guys for watching the video. I can't believe I'm almost at 70k views on just one video where I had like 400 subscribers by the time I was uploading, so thank every one of you.
A worthy opponent for once.
One of the OG Borderlands YouTubers out here, MorninAfterKill, titled his video AMARA the Destroyer Boss Melting DPS Build, and he's probably one of a lot more people who claim to have found the max DPS build for AMARA, and this one is in my opinion comparable to the Tickle Me Pink build I was talking about earlier in the video, since it is so focused around having the right anointed perks and damage boost from your gear. I know he did title it boss build, but he also said in the video that this build is great for mobbing too and showed it off with the Duke. So I took the Duke and the Cutsman without the plus 300% weapon damage, the Brawler Ward Shield and a Nimbus class mod to the Slaughter Shaft to see how it goes, and yeah, I honestly expected it to be a little weaker than it was. I must say that all the ghosts flying around applying the terror status were unbelievably annoying for the Duke when you really want to hit crits, but the Cutsman was doing pretty well, like the Cutsman always does, and I know that he was probably using the Duke just because he had the anointment on it, but that just shows how good this perk really is. I tested the build myself with some other weapons before, and I'm not really the biggest fan because I just love using the elemental weapons on AMARA and he does not utilize the elemental skill tree that much. But maybe that's just me and you might want to give this build a try anyway. I just didn't really like it. So yeah guys, there was 5 builds of some of the most popular AMARA builds on YouTube. I have to cut the video here and upload part 2 tomorrow because I'm already at over 15 minutes and I don't want this to get too long. I also wanted to make clear for everyone that I didn't make the video because I wanted to make any of these builds look bad. I just wanted to genuinely try them out for myself because I was looking for some new ideas for a new build for the Mali 1 takedown event, and I figured I saved you some time doing it for for yourself. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you want part 2 tomorrow. Make sure to take just 1 second of your time and leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Also leave a comment down below what YouTube builds you were enjoying the most so far for AMARA, and make sure to follow me on Twitch if you are interested in a one life only playthrough for AMARA as well. I will link that down in the description, just like my Twitter handle and Discord server. Thank you guys for watching, and I see you in my next video.